I really dig that down-to-earth vibe when tuned into Southern Feeling by Stone River. Stone River will be tearing up the stages soon with their live sound. Don't miss their killer shows when they tour in Ontario this year. Hi, DJ Tina here, host of HMTV Canada Easy. With me today is Stone River. Hi, Darren. Welcome to HMTV Canada Easy.
Oh, thank you for having the time to interview me.
I really dig the song tracks, the positive pictures they paint, the outlook on society, the attitudes, friendships, and relationships. The polished blue southern rock sound is saucy, yet this album has a vibe and kick. They are very catchy tunes that stay with the listener. Can you tell us about your recent album release, Stone River, such as the collection of songs and about the details and care the band dedicated their time to put into laying of the song tracks down, from the recording to the mixing?
Okay, well, first of all, some of the song ideas we've had floating around before the band actually formed officially in 2004. So it was me and Jeff, who are high school buddies. We were, before the band started in 2004, we just came off a breakup with our last band called Laurel Saga, which featured the bass player of Ill Scarlet, and we were pretty much very depressed about, the way things are going on, and we just started noodling around with riffs that were little to us did we know that they were going to be on our debut album. And so some of the songs that we had were from 2001, and we were just jamming them away, and eventually we ended up completing them in a timely fashion with the help of our producer, and we were able to record them for our debut album in 2006 in Hamilton.
What inspires or motivates the band to come up with these timeless lyrics, and who writes your songs?
Well, we all get a chance to contribute parts here and there. Well, me and Jeff, for this particular album, actually wrote quite a lot of it before the band started officially, and Renan, our singer, is responsible for the lyrics. And so what we did was that we'd bring 70% of a song idea to the table, and this is something we still do now. And we treat a riff like clay. Everybody gets a chance to mold and shape it into our vision of what rock and roll should be, what we think rock and roll should be. So it's a group effort, especially now that we're all working even harder as a unit. As before, where it was just two guys noodling around in our parents' basement. And as far as lyrics, we give Renan complete autonomy to jot down whatever he's feeling, whatever's on his mind, and we run with it.
Speaking of how the lyrics create imagery brings me to my next question. Will you be producing any videos from your song tracks soon?
Perhaps in the near future. We have a single, Southern Feeling, which is being played on 97.7 right now, so
challenges the band experienced in their 2-year journey to produce Stone River, and who helped with the engineering and mastering of this album?
Okay, well, part of the challenge was coming up with parts that everybody was satisfied for, because we had these songs, but Brennan would want to make a little bit of changes here and there to fit vocals over it, and we're really hard on ourselves. We always go through our songs with a fine-tooth comb, and we dissect our songs, and sometimes bicker a little bit about it, not too much, but we would discuss it very calmly about what these songs sound like, where this can go. Do we like these parts? Are we happy with it? Do they fit the song? And as far as the actual album, it was recorded at Catherine North in Hamilton, produced by Tom Trembeth, who also did Helix albums, Honeymoon Suite, and the first two Big Sugar albums, more importantly. And there was a couple different engineers that were sitting behind the desk tweaking knobs and whatnot. And so we went through a couple different engineers, but Rob Lamotte, who was part of a band called the River Dogs, was very helpful, especially for the engineering sessions when it came to the vocals. He did a really good job, and he was very positive in the studio, and it made for a very good environment, very productive environment.
The artwork on this album is incredible. 8 pages of custom Stone River artwork. Who's the superb artist that designed the cover?
Well, it was my and Jeff's high school buddy. His name is Jeff DeWelska. He's a brilliant, talented artist who now lives in Vancouver and is doing other art and doing very important things as we speak. And he is just pretty much a drawer. He illustrates, and Rennan's girlfriend, Natasha McDonald, who's a graphic design artist, got a chance to clean up some of his raw artwork with the aid of a computer, and a lot of time he spent doing that. And the two of them, who've never met each other, actually got a chance to work with each other. Jeff would draw his artwork, and she would clean up some of the small errors.
Can you tell us a little bit about the band Stone River, the current lineup of members, their beliefs, influences for their music, and how long the members have been playing together?
Well, at its core, Stone River has revolved around 3 people mostly. Me, Jeff Desolé, and Brennan. Well, we call him Ray, and we've been around since day one. We've gone through a couple lineup changes where we lost our original drummer at the end of 2006. We lost our original bass player in the middle of 2005, and we've had our buddy James Sato, actually his real name. We all have pseudonyms. He came aboard in 2006, and we found our drummer Tommy Brown at the end of 2007 after a year-long search to replace Scott LaRock, who's the original member of his band and is on the album. So it took a while for us to get back on our feet. 2007 in particular was a pretty bad year for Stone River, where we couldn't do shows because we didn't have a solid lineup. But now we're back at it with full force, and we're looking to get a keyboard player on board, and we think we might have found somebody, and he's a pretty good player, and we're really excited to have him come aboard.
When rehearsing or jamming, are the sessions fueled by fun or beer, or is the band really serious when it comes to rehearsals?
Well, of course, we're songwriters at heart. That's all we do. When we're not playing, we're constantly thinking about arranging songs, ideas, riffs. We're constantly thinking about vocal ideas, lyrics, and that's the kind of stuff that runs through our heads at all times. We're not the kind of guys who pick up a guitar only at a bonfire and play an Oasis song. We study music, we absorb it, we dissect it, and we're true students of the game. And as far as practices go, we take our stuff very seriously, and we could hammer out a song, every day, of the year, and have 365 songs that are not that good, or we could take our time, like we do, and come up with one song every 2 months, and it's going to be up to our standards. It's going to be a pretty quality song. I don't mind saying so myself. So rehearsals are all about we run through our set, which we're going to do for shows, but we also spend X amount of time coming up with new song ideas, and we take it very, very seriously because we all have a lot of pride in what we do, and we just try to do the best we can. And as far as we try to have fun too. I mean, we all got into this to make something of our lives, but we also remember that it's also about fun, and so we're not a big druggy band. We don't pick up 8 balls of coke every weekend and slam about Jack Daniels every practice, but we like to party, we like to smoke a little, drink a little, but when it comes to us actually playing drunk. We'll save that for after the session.
Is the band working on any new material at the moment, or are they trying new things with their sound for the next album?
Well, as a matter of fact, 3/5 of the band right now is working on a pretty killer song as we speak. So we're just trying to find ways to top our previous effort, and we're doing a pretty good job so far. We've got 2 tunes lined up that will go toe-to-toe with anything that we've written in the past. So although progress may seem a little slow at times, the end result will be something that we can be proud of and hold our head up high doing it.
How was your show at the Red Rooster in Burlington, Ontario? Did you receive a good turnout of fans and sell lots of CDs and merchandise?
Well, the interesting thing about that is that we actually did have quite a few fans out there, but we were supposed to go on second, and we got put on last because one band was pulling some hissy fit and politicked very hard to get our time slot, and we got the headlining slot by default, and some of the people cleared out, even some of the people that we brought out as well. But there was a pretty good turnout, and the show went well, but our singer was kind of sick, and so we had to, we had our limitations with that, but we were not into canceling shows. We soldiered on and did our best, and it was actually a pretty good show all in all, but we've actually had much better shows as well. But, Renan was sick, so, we had to kind of try to work around that. So it was a short set, but it was pretty well received all in all.
When playing live shows, do the band members favor playing outdoors at music festivals or indoors at nightclubs? And has there been any obstacles in the past that the band faced in setting up equipment on stage?
Well, we've mostly played bars, and we've only really did one outdoor festival last summer when we beat out almost 400 bands to open up for the Black Crows in front of a legit 10,000 people plus. So mostly our shows are in bars, pretty nice ones too, like the Red Rooster, the Horseshoe Tavern. But we're working on getting into other festivals as well. It's not that we're opposed to doing these outdoor venues. It's nothing has really come our way. But all of a sudden, there seems to be an influx of shows that have been coming our way that we're jumping all on and working hard to get these slots.
Are there any crazy stories to tell from your previous shows?
Crazy stories? Well, there's always seems to be a lot of fans that respond well to our sound and want to meet us. And a couple of times we found ourselves in trouble with a couple of our female fans who wanted to, come party with us. And a couple of them were underage that we didn't know about, but we never, did anything wrong. But we didn't know how young they were at the time. They looked old enough. And there's also, the older ladies too that sometimes come try to hang out with us, and we have girlfriends and stuff like that, so we're pretty faithful to them, and we try not to get in too much trouble, but sometimes people don't like us for some reason, and actually one time there was one guy who tried fist fighting me just because I'm Indian. So a couple of times there's been some close calls with other bands too, again trying to muscle us out of slots and just ridiculous stuff. But as far as crazy stories, I mean, we're not riding motorcycles through hotel hallways yet. I'd love to do that one day. It's one of my personal goals, but nothing too crazy, nothing that would make Aerosmith proud yet. But hopefully those moments will happen somewhere down the line.
Do you plan on touring to promote Stone River soon?
Well, what we're doing is we're trying to book a lot of shows in Ontario and Quebec, so that represents approximately 70% of the music market in Canada. So we are working on booking a lot of out-of-town shows and playing about twice a week at different cities and whatnot. And then maybe somewhere in the near future we're going to do an East Coast tour, probably maybe in a couple months, so hopefully put something together for Newfoundland and New Brunswick and Nova Scotia and whatnot. But right now we're mostly concentrating on Ontario and Quebec. I mean, the weather is just starting to get better now, so it's not far-fetched to think we're going to go off to other places. But right now we're just mostly concentrating on Ontario and Quebec as well.
Can you tell us the band's focus for 2009, such as their goals, what they want to achieve, any career highlights?
Okay, well, what we want to achieve is we would like to have a couple singles on the radio, which we are getting there. Right now, 97.7 is playing Southern Feeling probably about twice a day, and it's always really cool to hear your stuff on the radio. I just heard that song for the first time in my life on the radio maybe about a week and a half ago, and we're really proud of that. That's a pretty big feather in our cap. As far as the band and its career highlight, I would have to say say that playing in front of 10,000 people, opening up for the Black Crowes, being handpicked by the Robinson brothers themselves, that was another feather in our cap and a very special moment in our careers and also in our lives. That's probably one of my top 3 moments in life ever, and I've had a pretty interesting life.
Will you be selling Stone River CDs and merchandise from your main website at www.stonerivermusic.com once it's completed?
So actually, as of now, we're selling T-shirts and CDs through our MySpace page, and we also, of course, sell them at our shows, and a lot of people are responding to it very well, and quite a few people have copies at home that they're hopefully listening to every day. But we're always interested in drawing up more merch. With talks of having posters, perhaps buttons and stickers and whatnot. But right now we just have CDs and T-shirts, and a lot of people really seem to dig them. Both the CD and the T-shirts are high quality. The T-shirts aren't going to fall apart on you after like 2 washes in your laundry machine.
Okay.
So, it's pretty good.
Well, once your website is constructed, will this be like a social networking site where the fans can interact with each other?
Perhaps in the near future. Right now, we just use MySpace as a networking tool, to promote our shows, to sell merchandise, and to also make friends with other bands, so we can place certain cities and have them on board to open up for us, or for us to open up for them. And that's how we've been getting a lot of shows, through the magic of MySpace. And at first, when we first got introduced to MySpace and Facebook, I originally dismissed it as kind of a dorky kind of thing, but I'm a believer now. It's a very important tool, and if used properly, it can really come in handy, and it is a really effective way to promote your product, and our product being our band, our CDs, our shirts, our shows.
Yeah, that's true. MySpace is a great tool for networking, but everyone seems to go there. They listen to new music, and while digital downloads is the wave of the future, and it has been ever since MySpace came on site, but now I think everything is changing. I think there's a diverse mix of digital downloading off iTunes and MP3 sites, and people still want the physical CDs, and I think like a lot of people are going back to vinyl.
Yeah, there is many different ways that people find new music, but I've also seen that there's a lot out there that MySpace has to offer, and it's actually a really good way to find other bands and new sounds and interesting things out there. So we're really heavy into promoting our stuff on MySpace. We're going on there at least a couple hours a day, and making friends with new bands, and try to organize shows together, and trying to build a rock and roll community filled with good acts. Canada has a lot of good talented bands out there that aren't necessarily being heard, but hopefully that'll change in the near future.
One thing about the music industry, and I really like his quote, it's DJ Kim Mitchell of Q107. He quotes, "There used to be 100 bands selling 1 million albums, and now there's 1 million bands selling 100 records." What's your view on the music industry? Do you think it's having to reinvent itself?
Well, I guess it has to, because things have changed so drastically over the last 10 years. I mean, people used to be able to go out to stores and buy CDs, and now the stores, one by one, they seem to be closing down. I mean, I almost had a tear in my eye when I found out Music World was going out of business, and I had one right close to my house, and I still buy CDs, and it's harder and harder to buy CDs for me, and I'm looking for music in very unlikely places like Future Shop and Best Buy. And so, I mean, there's a lot of people out there who are trying to sell CDs, and there seems to be 1 million bands with 1 million songs out there, and there's not a lot of ways in getting music just by physically going to stores. It seems a lot of these places are closed down, and they have a very select amount of CDs, and so there's different ways you can go about doing it. I found iTunes and Amazon is a pretty good way to get CDs as well, but I think that the way that it's turned out now is that people are just they don't view art and music as something that's very important. People are into
nowadays, like where it's at is the band's touring. I think when they go out on tour, they're able to sell lots of CDs and lots of merchandise, and that's where the fans want to grab them.
Yeah, well, it's more important these days to have a good live show than it is to have a killer CD, because people are still going out to live shows to have a couple of drinks, to have a good time on a Friday, Saturday night, and that's where they're more likely to buy CDs at shows than they are to walk into their Best Buys and their Future Shop and their Starbucks even to go buy CDs. But people still buy CDs, but more people are downloading every day, and it's going to get it has gotten really hard for artists to try and make a decent living when people are just pirating their tunes off the internet.
I couldn't agree with you more. With the economy the way it is, and the music industry with so much uncertainty in the industry today, how does the band feel about becoming signed to a record or distribution deal if they were offered one?
Well, that's something I actually think about quite often, because sometimes I do feel guilty trying to live my dream of being a musician when people have real problems out there and they just lost their job and they can't see their family, and I've got dreams of touring the world and having a good time while there's a lot of people suffering out there. And there's more important things in the world than buying music and going to movies, but we just keep talking on. People do need to be entertained. I understand that the CNE was invented during the Depression because people needed to take their minds off these heavy issues and all these problems going on. So I think there will always be a need for entertainment, but I don't think people are going to be spending the money that they might have used to spend when things were good. But the world has to go on too. So I do feel very sad that some people are caught between a rock and a hard place. But at the same time, I kind of feel that our situation as bands, we're kind of struggling too. This is our life, and it's really tough out there for everybody these days, and especially for being a musician, because it seems like it's really hard to get that elusive record contract because there's just so much out there right now, and there's only so many record companies only sign maybe one or two acts a year, and God forbid if these acts don't produce well, like these numbers that they want, then the A&R guy gets robbed and he's out of a job, and these bands are basically damaged goods and nobody wants to touch them, and it's really tough, especially these days, more so than I think like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and I can imagine it must have been a little bit easier to get that record contract.
What are you looking for in a record deal?
Well, the only reason why I think a lot of people would want to be picked up by the majors is because the promotion that they can sink into a band, that's something, and of course the distribution, having your physical product in the store is always nice, but I think the publicity and the promotion is something that a record company can only do. They can literally sink $100,000 to perhaps even millions of dollars into pushing singles, pushing the album, advertising, and that's big money. And an independent band, it would be really hard for them to try to match that kind of publicity on their own.
Do you have a manager helping Stone River get their music out there and help with tour support and stuff?
Well, we're looking into booking agents and managers, but right now we're just an indie band in every shape. We're just right now on our own and trying to do the best that we can. And progress is being made, but we're definitely looking into a booking agent and management. And I don't think it's far-fetched that a record label will come around sooner than later. We have a lot of faith in us, and we're pretty confident about our abilities.
Before we wrap up our interview, do you have any shout-outs to friends and fans?
Well, I just hope that people realize that we're real people making real music for real people. We're a very honest rock and roll band where we try not to, have a big ego about things, and it's a sound that's not dry. In a day and age where everybody's trying to be the next Nirvana, the next Alice in Chains, the next Pearl Jam, we're, definitely influenced by a lot of great bands out there, but we're just trying to be Stone River, and, all our influences, which range from metal to classic rock to folk, it's just all like rolled up into one and presented in a CD that's clocks at around 42 minutes. So we're just trying to be honest with ourselves, and we definitely don't want to insult the intelligence of people out there who like real rock music, because those are our fans, and we want to win them over, and we don't want them to think that we're a bunch of phonies. So we're just trying to keep it real.
Thank you for allowing our HMTV Canada e-zine to interview Stone River. Horns high, because you rock.
Oh, thank you so much, and I appreciate all these nice comments and you taking your time to do us a favor by interviewing us.
It was a pleasure.
Yes, I would say so. Thank you so much.